Good evening, my dear students. I am Padmini. I welcome you all to this season. Today, we are going to learn a poem about you from your English book, The Schoolboy. The Schoolboy, this poem is written by William Black. The poem addresses a young schoolboy who hates going to school in a disciplined way and rather desires to be like the birds. For him, the school is just like a prison, which does not allow the creativity of a child to flourish. The poem Schoolboy has been divided into 6 stanzas, and the rhyme scheme of this poem is ABABB. Okay, it is included in Black's collection, that is the Song of Innocence. This poem describes the innocent nature and the desires of a young schoolboy. So now we are going to discuss the stanzas. So in this poem, or the poem contains 6 stanzas. Okay, let us discuss the first stanza of this poem, The Schoolboy. The schoolboy. Okay, in the first stanza, the schoolboy says that he loves to rise in a summer morning. It is the time when bird sings on every tree. The huntsman blows his horn far away and the skylarks sings with him. Okay, according to the schoolboy, it is the best company and he enjoys it very much. The first stanza of the poem is all about the things which make the schoolboy happy. He likes the birds, loves to rise in the morning and enjoy the activities which happen that time. The morning time is the time of hope and aspiration. So in the first stanza, it tells about the schoolboy who is a happy child. And the morning time is the time of hope and aspirations. Okay? Let's discuss the second stanza. So in the second stanza, the tone totally changes from delight, rejoicing and hope to dismay, joylessness. Joylessness means the child is completely unhappy here. The schoolboy is completely unhappy here. The schoolboy says that going to school in the summer morning is something which takes away all his joy, all his happiness. So in the school, the students have to spend all their day under a teacher who in outdated fashion keeps an eye on the schoolboy. So that the students, the schoolboy will follow the rules and regulations strictly. According to him, the schoolboy spends his day in distress and completely sadness. So this second stanza describes the schoolboy's concern over the way school work. The children are kept under the strict surveillance and are forced to obey the rules which make his life completely joyless, completely unhappy. So in second stanza, going to school in the summer morning is completely unhappy. Second thing, sitting under or spending under a teacher is also, the child feels unhappy because he has to follow all the rules and regulations strictly. That the reason the child says here, the rules and regulations which make the schoolboy's life, completely joyless and unhappy, completely distressed and only sadness. Okay? So in the third stanza, the schoolboy describes how he spends his day at the school. According to him, he often sits and spends a lot of time in boredom. He does not find any joy or happiness in books. So the next line is quite confusing, which I shall try to explain you in an easy way. The schoolboy says that he does not feel any joy while sitting in learner's bower. Sitting in learner's bower, which according to him is worn through with the dreary shower. So what does mean this learner's bower? Bower means a shady place under a tree. Bower means a shady place under a tree. So how about the phrase learner's bower? Means a place where someone comes to learn. It can be school, university or any other institutions where people gather to acquire knowledge. So thus this learner's bower, as per the schoolboy, is damaged or has some defect because it was hit by dreary shower. Dreary shower means heavy rain which is disastrous. Okay? Here we will get two phrases, that is dreary shower and learner's bower. So when we relate dreary shower to the learner's bower, it means the school's education system has been damaged or is defective. Why it is defective? It can be traced in the previous stanza. Okay, that is the cruel eye of a teacher. A young student cannot learn under restrictions. He needs love, freedom, joy. But the cruel eye of the teachers or parents has destroyed the basic purpose of education. So the students are forced to learn those things which make them capable of acquiring materialistic things. For that only they have to give up all the things which would have otherwise made them a better human being. So to grow in a better way, to get the proper education, the child needs love, freedom, joy, happiness. But these things are completely destroyed. So that is the reason. The teachers and the parents has destroyed the basic purpose of education. And the children, they only acquire the knowledge to get these material things, not the basic purpose of education. In the fourth stanza, the schoolboy raises a number of questions. The first question, he asks, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? Is it possible? Is it possible? Can a bird sing the sweet song inside a cage? Here he compares himself to a caged bird. And like the caged bird, he too loses joy in the school. Who thought? And the child thinks here, the schoolboy thinks here, the school is a cage for him. So the second he asks the second question. How can a child, when fears annoy and droop his tender wings and forget his youthful spring? The second question he asks like this. So here he says that a child who is scared by the teachers and parents, but he cannot forget the joy of freedom, when later keep his wings locked, that he remains joyless and longs for freedom. So here he compares himself with a bird. A bird is one with free wings. A bird is one to fly in the open sky. But when the bird is caged, the bird is not able to sing the sweet song, not able to enjoy its life. So the child also compares himself to a bird, to a caged bird. When the child goes to school, the whole day he spends under a cruel eye, under a teacher, under the rules and regulations which are prevailing in the school. The child is not getting any freedom. And at last, the schoolboy feels joyless and longs for freedom. Okay? So in the fifth stanza, he is in conversation with his parents. Okay. In the cage, a bird cannot sing a sweet song. Similarly, a child, if remained under the umbrella of annoying fear and tension, the child also cannot enjoy the joy and playfulness. In other words, if you will think, the child wants to be free. The child wants the freedom. If a human being's development process is cut off from its natural environment, then it will be weakened and probably discouraged to do better things. So in this fifth stanza, the child addresses that without freedom, nobody can progress. Nothing can be done. So he's telling, if a human being's development process is cut off from its natural environment, means it will be weakened and probably discouraged to do better things. So if the child will not get that freedom, then in the future he will not get the good result. He will not get the better result. He cannot do better in his life. Okay, my dear students. So the last stanza, the sixth stanza, continues from the previous stanza. Okay, so according to the poet, how summer can be joyful when the buds of flowers are cut. The flowers flew away and the twigs removed away. So the fruit of summer would never appear. Thus, how the plants means here the children, would be able to get fruit which has been destroyed. So how can the summer be a blessing when the blasts of the winter appear? So the final stanza, the sixth stanza, is metaphorical. It's completely metaphorical. The schoolboy compares the children to the spring plants which have been destroyed. So according to him, like the flowers, the children too need freedom for efficient growth. If their freedom is snatched away and their joy birds are cut off because of schools, they will never able to get properly educated and never serve the society. So we have already discussed all the six stanzas. So my dear students, what is the theme in the schoolboy? So here, who is the writer? William Blake. So William Blake makes use of some interesting and important themes in the schoolboy. He explores childhood and youth, as well as the themes of education, nature, and freedom and space. So his main character and speaker, the schoolboy, spends the poem describing the difference between freedom in the natural world and the cruel restriction of formal education. Okay? So here William Blake believes that he had better of learning what he needs to know of the world from nature rather than from someone's idea of what's good for him. The poem brings up questions about the effectiveness and the standard of education and what the right way to raise a child is. He added here, Blake celebrates youth and youth tied to nature, as he commonly does within these poems. Okay? So my dear students, we have already discussed the 6 stanzas of the poem The Schoolboy and what is the theme. So let us discuss the question answers which are there in this poem. Okay? So the question number 1. Find 3 or 4 words or phrase in the stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. I think you can give the answers. So the answer of this question is the words, phrase that reflect the child's happiness are the song of the birds and the skylark and the sound of hunter's horn. Okay? Question number 2. In stanza 2, the mood changes. Which words, phrase reflect the changed mood? I think all can give the answer. So the word and phrase reflecting the child's mood are: number 1, drives all joy away. Number 2, cruel eye outone. Cruel eye outone means of the teachers, the cruel eye of the teacher. And number 3, that is sigh and dismay. Okay? Question number 3. A cruel eye outone. Stanza 2, that is refers to option number 1, the classroom which is savvy, noisy. Number 2, the lessons which are difficult, uninteresting. And number 3, the dull, uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. So a cruel eye outone, it refers to the dull, uninspiring life at school with him lots of work and no play is the answer. The last question, question number 4, that is nor sit in learning's server worn through with the dreary server. So which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? So here we will get the 3 options. Option number 1, nor can I sit in a roofless classroom which it is raining, when it is raining. Number 2, nor can I learn anything at school through teachers go on lecturing and explaining. And number 3 option, nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. So which is the correct answer here? Obviously option number 2 is the correct answer. And what is the option number 2? Nor can I learn anything at school through teachers go on lecturing and explaining. So my dear students, so we have discussed about William Blake, about his poem that is The Schoolboy and its theme, and at last the question answers. I hope my dear students you have understood this lesson. So goodbye my dear students.